Welcome back to the program, Joe Schilling. Stitch him up. That last fight, and I was actually there for the last one with Melvin Manhoef. What the hell, man? That was amazing. I was in the upper deck hanging out with some friends, with some cop buddies of mine down in San Diego, and I literally, like, from my view looking down, that hand coming across was retarded looking. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So let's
that
talk
was that was a really tough camp for me. I had it was kind of a short notice camp. I think I only had like 5 weeks total for that, and then about 2.5 weeks out from the fight, 3 weeks out from the fight, my dad passed away, and I went to Florida and was going through grieving process and stuff with my brother, and my uncle called me the night that I got there, and my cousin, who I was really close with, was 23 years old, that fell off the balcony on vacation, and he died, and that was just a really, really hard camp and a lot for me to get through, and it worked out well for me, and it was a real relief,
I just finished an interview with Seth Brzezinski down in Alliance in San Diego, and his last 2 fights, his sister died. A couple months later, he fights. He loses. His mom dies 6 days before his last fight, and he loses. You're telling me your mom dies 3 weeks before the fight?
My dad, yeah. My dad died.
Your dad died, and then all of a sudden you go in and you get a win. So everybody kind of deals with it differently, and the outcomes are different. Like, it's not necessarily that either one of you drew power from it or didn't draw power from it or whatever. It's just the outcomes just happen to be different. Talk to me about the Melvin fight. You were getting beat up a little bit in the beginning. You kind of were trying to find your rhythm and your distance. It seemed like for me, now mind you, I was in the upper deck watching. So I wasn't ringside. I was way up top, and it looked like you were having a little bit of a problem trying to find your pacing and your spacing. And then once you found it, you started tagging him quite a bit and started lighting him up and making him get a little nervous before you put him down and put him out. Is my assessment correct on that, or was there something else going on?
Well, it was my first MMA fight in 6 years, and I mean, we talked about it before. My previous experience with MMA was not anything to be proud of. I didn't take it seriously at all. It was just something that I was doing to stay busy between fights. I was really arrogant, and I wasn't even as good a kickboxer as I am now. So when being in that cage for the first time, and then being, 6 years, and then being in there with, such a guy that I respect so much, like Melvin Manhoef, there was some nerves going on, and I was just really, I had trained hard for the fight up until my father passed away, but there was a lot going on, and I wasn't really comfortable. And I think it took me throughout the first round before I really got comfortable. And then with the our training camp, you watch Melvin's fights, he really just comes right at you right out of the gate, and that fight, he was moving away the entire time, and that kind of threw me off. And then when I was trying to figure out should I step in there, should I wait for him to come, what should I do? Then he caught me by surprise with overhand right, and it dropped me. And when it dropped me, there was no neurological, I wasn't dizzy or anything like that. My legs went out right away, but I knew exactly what was going on. And then I actually, I was like, oh shit, this is a bad position. I don't want to be here, Melvin on top of me. But I actually found that I was really surprised that I thought I had made him out to be a lot stronger in my head. And when I got back to my guard and I was able to, get back to my guard and start working my elbows on the bottom, it actually built my confidence that, okay, this is the worst possible scenario in my head. I've been knocked down, I got Melvin on top of me, and I'm doing well, and that really built my confidence. And then after getting a couple of exchanges where I got tagged, I was like, oh, okay, this is a fight. I've been here before. This is where I want to be. And I felt when I went back to the corner in the second round, I was telling my coaches, okay, I'm good now. We're gonna take care of it this round. And it worked out really well for me.
Are you down in LA right now, or are you up in Northern California?
Oh shit! Grab my phone.
No worries.
I'm in LA right now.
And are you doing the whole train camp in LA, or are you going back and forth up to Diaz Brothers camp too?
I've done the whole camp in LA. I've been working a lot with Carl and Gracie, and actually been training a lot with Hickson as well, which has been just a phenomenal experience for me.
Yeah, but it's so frustrating at the same time. You're like, I can't do anything. This is just horrible. He's still an absolute beast on top and underneath and on the side and walking to the bathroom. Hickson's just still retarded. It doesn't make any sense. I just don't understand it. So,
yeah, it's actually hard to pay attention. He's coaching me. He's giving me phenomenal advice, and it's on another kind of spiritual level when he tells it to you. I've had other coaches tell me advice, and it gets right to your head. But he says it, and you're like, oh, it's like this.
It's an epiphany every time.
But when he's saying it, I'm trying to listen, but in the back of my head, my mind is screaming, "That's fucking Nixie Gracie!" It's crazy to have the opportunity to work with him. And Kron's a good friend of mine, and I've always, for me, training on the ground, especially with Nick and Nate and those guys, I never really had a clue. I'm always just getting ragdolled all the time. But that's kind of how I've learned along the way, and I feel like. Rolling with black belts and feeling that pressure and that strength is just going to make me that much better. I'm training with the gi on for a lot, so I find that, if I can move or do anything with that gi on, when I take that gi off, it's that much easier for me. So I think overall it's been a great experience, and I feel really well prepared.
Let's talk about Rafael real quick, your opponent. He's 10-1, you're 2-3 in MMA. Like, this is these MMA records. So, he's like almost perfectly picked for you. He's a Brazilian guy that prefers stand-up. He's got no submissions. He wins by 1 decision and 9 knockouts. So this is a guy that's going to stand there and trade with you. When you get the phone call for this guy and you looked at the tape and looked at his record, did you kind of go, "This is my wheelhouse"? Like, they're giving me a gift here. Like, this is the guy that I can go in there and make a highlight reel out of.
I think some people would look at it that way, but I don't look at it that way. I see a guy that's 6'3". He's he's a very big guy. He walks around probably around 220. He's not, and he's not somebody that just came out of a kickboxing background. This is a guy that had 10 or 11 professional mixed martial arts fights. Is prepared. He's gone through 11 training camps at least, and knows a lot of the positions. He watches fights and. He's taking guys down. He's defended a lot of takedowns, and I see he's got a very solid skill set, and I think that he's a dangerous opponent. And you can't overlook a guy with 10 knockouts on his record.
Yeah, it's true. You can't, especially with little gloves on, and he's got knockout power in his little gloves. Even if you block part of it still gets through. So
and I also I think you could say oh, they're giving me a picture perfect matchup, another stand-up guy, but I have a hard time believing that anybody is going to watch and see my accolades in kickboxing and is still going to decide to stand with me. You know what I mean? I find it very unlikely that he's going to go out there and just stand up with me and see how it goes. So it's a mixed martial arts fight, and that's what I'm preparing for.
And MMA has changed, from your 6 years ago and 7 years ago, where everybody was like a stand-up guy was a stand-up guy. That's just what he was. A ground guy was a ground guy. That's just what he was. Guys would come in with 27 knockouts with 1 decision in their 30 fights. And they're a black belt in jiu-jitsu. But you never see it because that's their preference to be on stand-up, but they have the ground game too. Do you think that he's going to look at your tape and go, "I got to get this guy to the ground and try to make it a ground battle," knowing for sure that you're going to be able to sting him a little bit on his feet?
I try not to think about that too much. I just want to be prepared for whatever it is. Stylistically. I know that my takedown offense is good if I stay off the fence. I think best case scenario for him is to get me on the fence and then try to get me to make a mistake and then drag me to the ground. So, using my movement and I've been training a lot in those bad positions. I'm really confident that had Melvin and I stay on the ground longer, he would have got submitted. And I feel like if this guy takes me down, I'm going to get back to my guard and submit him or work some elbows from the bottom, or I'm going to get to his back and finish him there. So, I'm really well prepared either way, and I'm just going to be focused on being the best Joe Schilling that I can be, because I really have. I can worry about in every scenario that Rafael can come up with, and at the end of the day, it's not going to make any difference. He's going to do what he's going to do, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And the most important thing is that I just do what I'm going to do better.
That's Joe Schilling. He's getting ready to fight Rafael Carvalho on Bellator 136, April 10th, in Irvine, California, so right down the street from where you are right now. Joe, thanks for coming on here, man. I appreciate it. I know it's late. I know you're trying to get back to the house. Can't wait for this fight, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. This fight's gonna be a lot of fireworks in this one.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it, and I really appreciate you being patient with me.
Of course.
Messing around with this Skype, and I was sick over last week, and we had to set this back, and I appreciate your time, Frank.
Yeah, no worries, man. My pleasure. Always for you, man. No worries. Thanks, Joe.